Hi all, happy Easter. This is a special Easter edition of Chess 24 Kingscrusher Banter Blitz. It's April 16th, 2017. Can I just put a warning to those that have cats and dogs? Watch out, don't give them any hot cross buns because of the raisins, just in case. Safety check. Hi all. On that note, let's take the first challenge. Okay, going through the challenges. Is this guy ready? Okay, let's see. Knight f3, that seems a bit odd. Has it got a very specific reason though? Yeah. I don't really want the queens off, I think. Do I? Okay, that looks like a pawn. I can grab a pawn here. I need to see what the compensation is for the pawn. Is there much? My concern earlier was this diagonal, but now can I not just park here and b5 bishop b7? Yeah, all chocolates, right? Yeah, don't feed the dog chocolate either, right? It's Easter, but try not to poison the pets. Okay. Okay, on that note, bishop e7, rook c8. Okay, can I take here and then e5 or not? Or maybe bishop d6. I want to keep control of the d5 square. So bishop d6, because otherwise he's got knight d5. This could start to get vicious. Should I be comfortable with this? Technically a pawn up, but unfamiliar territory. If I can contest this d file, as long as he doesn't get a knight to d5, can I just get a couple of rooks off, or all the rooks off? I don't want to lose this pawn over here though. So if I play g6, safety measure g6. Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about this position. Rook d8. If we just go for an endgame, then maybe rook d8. I've got knight e5 here. The entry point's covered on d7. Maybe that's tempting. Because there's no pawns to kick it away. If it covers d7, well, I can play rook d6. Could I get in trouble after rook d6? In conjunction with knight b4, maybe. Yeah, I can imagine it. Oh, crikey. Kick this guy here. What about knight? No, rook e7, knight c4. Try and carefully evict this rook. Can I just take that? This rook and pawn ending. What's his point here? got an extra pawn, unless I've imagined that. Let's do a quick audit check. I'm a pawn up. Just need to get my centre pawn rolling somehow. This is going to be a load of hassle. If we go to the king and pawn ending. I was a bit frightened, especially in the first game. I hate to say it. Frightened bunny in the first game. Don't like losing the first game. Anyway, let's try not to lose it. Come on, hold this. Keep confident. All right, can I try for minority attack here, over here, or not? Maybe b4 immediately. Do I need to do anything that fancy? Why can't I just get my king across to b3? Is that not plausible? Because he has weakened these light squares, kind of saying, come over on the light squares, basically. If b3, rook takes c3, check. Go on the light squares. I know my pass pawn's in the centre. Right, I'll fix these down. So I'm kind of tying down his rook. I don't want to be mated with b3 at some point. I can't go to b3 because of rook b5 technically. I want to try and get my opponent juggling some downsides here, which are essentially, as long as though rook d4 mate, the two downsides here, my king and, okay, that's not mate, is it, on d4 just yet? This pass pawn, he can put my king in check. I've got the pass pawn. It's a video I haven't done yet on the channel. I've got a really fantastic example of how you can find one kind of weakness in the opponent's or downside, and you get another and another, and you get the opponent to sort of juggle them. It's impossible. But here, okay, active king. He's juggling them at the moment. He's put my king. He's restricted my king, but this pawn can be liberated. H4 maybe for f4. That would hold the pawn, right? And then I could take here. Now I've got two connected pass pawns here. Can he juggle b2, this entry, with the two connected pass pawns? I wouldn't have thought so. He can win. No, he can't even win e4 as I play f2. This is taken then f2, so I'm crashing over here with an a pawn. Oh, that's really annoying. He's going to restrict my king again. Great, we're back to this. If I do a trick with here takes rook f7, so because I don't think he can catch the pawn. I want to play this without my king getting trapped with rook b5. This a pawn surely will win the game if he's only got 20 seconds. There's two pass pawns here. This is going to be very tricky, surely. Right, so there's a rook f7 trick. Rook b5, f2, but there's rook b1. Oh, let's go for the a pawn instead then. Well, it's two connected pass pawns again. Thanks for the game. Thanks. Okay, so it's always good to start off with a win for me, because I think I share that with Simon Williams. He's said the same thing. If he starts off with a bit of confidence, it's good. Maybe it's common with dynamic aggressive players. You've got to start off with a bit of confidence in these sessions or whatever. I find anyway. Okay, so knight f6, bishop c5. Well, justified confidence. I don't know if the word confidence scares me, actually. It's, the caricature of confidence is like, if you're overconfident, you become like impatient, reckless. But a sort of sound confidence. Not if you're underconfident, I think you can come too defensive in the play and not look for optimistic resources. I think there's objective balance. And so knight f4, knight g4. Knight g4. I mean, this is a little bit of confidence here that I've got an attack here with knight g4, g5, and well, it's kind of justified. That is an aggressive knight, though. It's not based on like nothing. I think there's some basis here for kind of a vicious, quite a vicious looking attack, actually. Or is it? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. This kind of crude stuff. h4, h3, g3. Yeah. Oh, h file. Now, this kind of style is good for infinite round tournaments online. Try and rack up points quickly. Generally, it's not a style you'd want on a sort of necessarily on a one-day time control. But no, if you get an active right position as well, it's kind of positional now. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically winning, isn't it? It's basically, it looks like it's winning. Knight g4, queen h1. Okay, this seals the deal. g3, no? The exit square is covered. It's the classic covering the exit square. So it's going to be, yeah. Just in case. I mean, yeah. Thanks for the game, Marco. Phenomen. Hi. If this pawn sack is, you know, not taken, I get a kind of King's Indian attack style position. I believe. When I say that, it's yeah. Can I avoid this pin though? No. I thought it was going to be King's Indian attack position. It's not really. Now that the centre's been blown open, I would have preferred a locked centre if I was going to play it like King's Indian, a nice locked centre. It's interesting to consider flank attacks in relation to how the pawn centre mobility. Now here's pretty mobile centre. f5, I'm just trying to grab some key light squares here. I've got the light square bishop. I can put some pressure on the light squares in the position. I think knight d5 or f4. I mean, that's a nice blockade square. It could be reinforced with bishop e6 if there's any queen c5 later. Possibly, I can just gain space here on this side of the board. G4 is actually threatening to win a piece in this particular position. By the way, I was mentioning I've got a really tactical student early Sunday mornings. One of the things I kind of uncovered for myself, which I might share here now, is Although this is a troublesome position. Maybe I should wait. Can I actually navigate away from this? Can I navigate away from this? Can I play bishop e6 or am I in big trouble? I'm in big trouble. Okay, not so much now. No, okay, I don't know if any of you have thought of this before. Thanks for the game, Fenneman. But one of the classic ways of looking for tactics, I'll give you a classic way of looking at a tactic which you might completely agree with, and I'll take you one step further about something. But this is going to be a tough test. Again, I'm going for this King's Indian formation. Centre's more closed than the earlier game, than the game just now. So sometimes, you know, we can. Do I need to stop? Oh, we can b5. Do I need to stop that? Not sure. Sometimes we can look for a loose piece in the position, yeah, and work backwards to find a tactic. But that whole principle is, I don't know if I'm getting hacked here with knight g5, as I'm mentioning this now. It's really possible I'm getting hacked with knight g5, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. Is this going to be not so funny? Bishop h6. So anyway, you might agree that you can look for loose pieces in the position, but actually that applies to any tactical or configuration or quirky issue. You can sort of treat it as a loose piece identified in the position, if you see what I mean. So if there's some weird configuration in the position, you can work backwards. It's just something which maybe hasn't been pointed out that explicitly. It's just the same concept. It's the very, very same concept. You're just trying to a loose piece is like a visual cue. So any type of visual cue like that, then you can work backwards tactically. Then you find the resources. Then you find the forcing moves. So it's just something. It's interesting to emphasize, maybe. So here, why has he left the knight? This guy's 2300. Why has he left the knight? What is this? Is it because of Queen G3? I can see that Queen G3 is going to cause me a lot of hassle. And there's also Bishop F7. This is fully justified. Is it fully justified to play like this? You see, I'm wondering if I've got Knight F5 and then King H7. Because he hasn't got any F4, I've got an advantage on the dark squares. Yeah, Bishop takes, Queen G3, Knight F5, takes King H7. I'm protecting the Bishop. He's not castling queenside. If he castles kingside, I've got a G file. That's why I like the look of this at the moment. I don't think there's any other great ways of defending the bishop. It is with tempo gain, Knight F5. Sorry, work backwards. You know when we look at forcing moves, we're working forwards from the current position. You know, if then. But sometimes it's very, very difficult, especially if you're tied in a tournament, it's very, very difficult to do that exhaustively. So sometimes it's nice to use the intuition first, find a visual cue, and the classic one is a loose piece. And then how do you exploit that loose piece? You know, working backwards from first giving yourself a visual cue. See what I mean? Can I play F6 in this position? Rook G8 actually threatens Bishop D2 winning the Queen, so no time for Bishop F7. Maybe Rook G8 is better, it's more active. Now there's also D5. If I'm D5, is anyone really confused by that? Okay, I'll put it another way. You know, sometimes as a general principle, it's said, you know, don't give yourself loose pieces because they're going to drop off. Yeah. And it's the same actually again in reverse. You don't give yourself not just loose pieces, you don't give yourself weird, inconvenient tactical liability positions. You don't give yourself a back row weakness. You make air for the king. You don't give yourself a trappable knight. You don't give yourself a trappable queen. Just in general, you don't. And this is without calculation. This is the Force, you know, Star Wars, the Force. You want to avoid those issues at an intuitive level. And by the same token, at an intuitive level, it all boils down to the same thing. If you identify that stuff in the opponent's position, then you find the forcing moves or resources which exploit those tactical, you know, liabilities. See what I mean? Does anyone not get that? I don't know if I've said anything useful. Anyway, it's something like he's really good tactically, this student of mine. Sometimes he's seeing quicker than me. And he's doing well in a tournament, actually, at the moment now. Very well. And there's bishop d2. You see, this is a bit quirky that the king's in the centre. Does it mean I've analysed the position with the king in the centre? No, I just saw the king in the centre. Okay, bishop d2. I win the queen. You know? Okay, good news. Good news, Baz. So, knight d4. I'm on f5. Well, there's queen g5 check. He's got bishop g6. This could be a pain. Okay, I'm threatening knight c2. He's got bishop g6. I'm probably picking up f5 though, right? I'm not getting mated just yet, I would hope. So he has to deal with knight c2. Maybe I should take on f5 in this position. It does open up that f file. If I ever want to get my rook to f8. Just wondering, queen f4, is my queen going to get trapped? Talking about traps. Queen f3 after gives me knight e3 check. So it might be worth the dodgy looking queen for a moment. Now queen f3, knight g5. Okay, so what if I just go back here? And this game's really speeded up as well now, hasn't it? No, there's some work to do here. Definitely some work to do here. Okay. Knight f3. That's good for knight f3 anyway. Let's take this off. Or not. Now there's light square weaknesses. Maybe d4. Yes, I'm not counting the chickens yet. Knight g5 for bishop f3 maybe. I can get round to f2. Or over here. Oh, this is getting scary now. Very. Oh, crikey, what have I done? was intense, even after, thanks, even after winning the queen, I was worried. Yeah. Hi, Iron Man. Okay, we'll play a From's Gambit against this bird's opening. Okay. Or was it the Falk Bear counter gambit or something against the King's Gambit? This is not the Falk. I'm not sure this is the Falk Bear. This is some sort of weird, gambit against King's Gambit. Okay. This is a check. Knight c6. Mind you, that knight's hanging over there. I don't think he's got time to win a pawn or anything with queen b5. Okay, so let's see. Knight e5, knight c6. My central control, I think, is promising here. From a central control. Mind you, he's reinforcing a knight on e5. Mind you, knight e5, there's knight takes d4 in this particular position. Okay, so that's fine, I think. Knight e5, knight takes d4. Okay, is it fine? I don't know. Let's find out now. Oh, there's queen h5, right? It's not. I hope it's not a big deal. There's queen h5. Might activate my pieces. In fact, couldn't I just take and then knight c2, basically? So takes, queen takes. There's knight takes c2. I'll win that rook. Doesn't seem a bad deal. In particular, this position. At the moment, it doesn't seem such a bad deal. I could try winning the queen sneakily with king f7 for bishop c5 if the king's there, because it would win the queen like that. No immediate check. Okay, that's not happening. I can play here though. Let's need the king on a dark square for that to happen. In the meantime, I think bishop e6 to cover this diagonal. If I'm going to play d4, I don't want any lethal bishop c4 check. So let's go with this, and then d4, and then if the king goes on the dark square, there's bishop c5 check. So d4, d4, and d3 looks good. I guess I should have been concerned about h5 just then. Alright, does he go onto a dark square because I can pick up the queen? Alright, pick up the queen. Alright, thanks, Arman. Now, Audisto. Hi. Let's do this gambit thing. Like Smith Morrow in reverse. Cavalier opening. choice. It has got an advantage of good piece activity, good for blitz. You don't have to necessarily play a solid thing in blitz because it's blitz. Right. But there is good piece activity here, I believe. Now, I'm dissuading castling already. I can castle queenside. Does he play e4? That would damage his d4 if he plays e4 here. That d4 square already a little bit vulnerable looking. I've got nice pressure on it already. So if I castle queenside, it doesn't matter about double pawns here. I can drop the bishop back, I think. Does he really want to give me double pawns there? Wouldn't have thought it matters in this particular circumstance. Okay, except knight f6 is annoying. If I played queen e7 and castle queenside, my d4 control is good, if nothing else. Mind you, queen e6 might be more to the point. Okay. Well, there's a check here. We're not going to repeat with this bishop d2, bishop e6, are we? No. Actually, castling rook c1 looks terrible. He's got bishop c5 on the cards. Oh, maybe this is in the circumstance. Yeah, I think it's good the way he's getting dark square grip. So, yeah, this might not be too clever actually. I might have overcooked this. I'm just worrying about the c file. Knight d4, rook c8, rook c2. It doesn't matter about b6. There's king g7 protecting. There's rook a6 to c6 maybe to protect f6. If knight f6, queen f6. So rook a6 tempo gain. I'll play rook c8, rook c6, rook c1, king g2. What's that? Queen e6, bishop g2, king g2. Let's think about this. Actually, is this queen trapped? Where's this queen going? Queen's trapped. In which case, knight f6. What if I just try and keep the queen trapped with king h8? Well, there might be knight d5. Oh, it's not trapped. Oh, that's a shame. Alright, okay. It looked almost trapped. There's queen e6 for bishop h3, which might be useful in conjunction with rook c8, rook c6, rook c1. So bishop h3, king g1, rook c1. Let's have a quick look at this. Queen e6 looks okay-ish. Alright, rook c8, queen b4, rook c6, king g2. Do I want to take on h3 first? He's got king g2 immediately. Maybe rook c6 is better than rook c8. Try and get this rook to the 7th. Quite often rooks on the 7th are lethal. Quite a few examples in the US Championship. Someone got rook to the 7th. It was all over pretty soon after in a lot of games. Just tactically, king safety. A rook on the 7th here is quite dangerous. How dangerous? think it should be played. That's interesting. Now, what can I take? I know he's getting the H file. Oh, knight f6 is the point. Okay. Okay, let's not be completely idiotic about it. It's for knight f6. So bishop takes e4. That is a horrible knight, actually, coming to think about it. If he has to take with the pawn, then maybe I can play h4 and keep things locked down over here on the dark squares. Sort of. Do I need to do that? There is knight e2 immediately for knight f4. That would seem sensible. And he takes, there's king h7 for rook g8. In the light of that, I think I'll play this for knight f4. It does create a pathway to f2. Right, I'm on e4 here. Didn't expect that. Queen c4 is threatening queen e4. It's queen c3, queen e4. Rook e1, queen e4. Queen c4 looks strong. Is he trying to attack me on g file? If he has pressure on f8 at some point, then the rook drops off. But this is a long way off at the moment because queen e4. That's a good point. If I play queen c2 here, this isn't anything stronger. No, queen c2. Maybe I need to close things now. h4, this could be dangerous. Could be seriously dangerous. Okay, bullet mode almost now as well. h4. And there's always rook f2 for queen c1, which gives me queen f4 after. Let's kick this queen off. There's rook d3 here, winning the queen. Thanks for the game. What is that? Yeah, pretty tense. Azure missed. Hi. Yeah, I don't get much here. No. Oh well. Okay, knight e3 to d5 though. Trying to open up the rook. Knight e3 to d5. Why is he giving me this with tempo? This is my only plan. He's giving me it with tempo. With targets here, a4, I mean, it might be interesting as well. So, without development, bishop g5 looks dangerous, king center. Knight e5, d takes queen f3 for d6 is on the rook. That's a bit trappy, but it's an example. I mean, both rooks are actually potentially loose pieces here. in this position. It's not, yeah, one thing I noticed tactically on one of my games recently, it wasn't just the king in the centre, it's the fact that the rooks are often loose pieces, they're not connected. When you castle, you're kind of connecting rooks, you're avoiding them being loose. Now here it seems as though knight d4, if bishop g7, b4, and if knight c here, I just take a knight c6, and if he castles, I'd win e7. Basically, if I get a knight to c6, I want e7. More simple might be just bishop g5 though. If bishop g7 I just take, if f6, bishop f6. So there's two ideas. Bishop g5 does allow the pin though. So maybe knight d4, bishop g7, bishop g5. Avoids the pin, this move order. So bishop g7, bishop g5 looks frighteningly good, I think. This is looking good. Okay. Maybe just queen e2. Alright, now a4 looks pretty good. Wrecking this. I mean, the king's over there. If I get to a6, it looks too good. This a4 with the king there, it looks too good. Far too good. I'll bring the bishop back on this diagonal. This might be working. Rook a4. Yeah. Okay. I'm opening up here. Knight c6 seems almost plausible. Or b3. b3. So if knight e5, bishop takes b5. Yeah, there's bishop c6 to follow here, and then like rook a6, queen a1 as an example. I think bishop c6 and then rook a6, queen a1 is a very dangerous idea. Okay, so I just need to basically double for rook a8 here. So queen a1 looks nifty as well. It's got that bonus of being aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so yeah. Actually, there's rook a7 winning the queen here, I think. Thanks for the game, Azomist. Moby. And well, I love the dark squares here already. The dark squares have been quite badly compromised. There's a tactic on f2 here for knight g4, if this is one, which would expose the king. I think white's central mobility doesn't necessarily offset there. Okay, more dark square weaknesses. I'm thinking just d5 here. This is too much. This is too much. I don't mind losing e5. It's like it's a road to the king here. And it's yeah, too much. F5. This is not good development here. On the other hand, there are some pitfalls to avoid. If I play f5 and e4, my d5 is loose. Knight g3, okay. There's a check here already though, which is unpleasant. If knight d2, knight f4, castles, queen d5, threatens mate. I suppose there's bishop f3. Knight f4 immediately is interesting. Bishop check for knight c3 is very interesting. I think I might just go for that, just to grab the dark square bishop here. If he plays queen c1, then maybe e4. Queen d2. Well, the bishop's protected, so maybe... Does he want to do that? Forfeiting carpeting rights. Okay, these dark squares don't look good to me for white, from a white perspective. Just lock down on the dark squares for a moment. I think queen e8 and e4 without any knight d4. Oh. There's check and knight. Well, knight e5. I think I just take it and then take it. d4 looks to be dropping. Basically, a pawn looks to be dropping. Knight d4. Do I have a loose piece issue on? Okay, I think I just take a pawn here. That'd be boring. I'll just take a pawn. Just take a pawn. c6, b5 for bishop e2. Then maybe bishop e6, bishop d5. Or actually b4 first to stop any c4, then bishop d5. Oh, here's a passed pawn. Okay, a temporary, nice looking knight to contend with. Well, I'm hoping it's temporary. There's knight f7 to contend with. Okay, some danger. I'll stop knight g5. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Trade-off there, the pass pawn against a nice knight, actually. Maybe it's worth playing a4 before a4 happens for white, fixing the pawns. Opposite coloured bishop situation with taking on e4 here might be good enough for a win, although it's a concern having opposite coloured bishops if I did want to take that guy out. Okay, for the moment, I think I'm just going to activate this rook. So, can I go down to the 7th rank? Or not? Okay, that gives me rook a2. Is that any use here? It is a 7th rank move. Okay. Bishop h3 would stop h4, covering a lot of entry points. Yeah, stop h4. Rook d8 might threaten rook d3 at some point. Okay, doubling rooks like that. Yeah, okay. Think. No, I'm not sure. Not sure. Just in advance of rook g1, I'll do this. I think he's got some good pieces here going in at knight on e4, so... Can I evict this rook for a moment? Let's put this here, maybe. Okay. Alright, let's move. Let's do something active, but not spend too long on it, which is like a bullet game now, basically. It's, what do I need to do? Maybe I need to get rid of his knight. An exchange sack. I don't believe it. I'm going to give him that e3 pawn. Oh, great. Okay. F3's weak, though. Maybe b6, c5, bishop d4 plan. Okay, bishop d4 coming up. You can take it here. Isn't f3 ever weak here? Oh, I'm on the rook. Okay, it's the exchange up. Pass pawns need to be pushed. Generally speaking. Thanks for the game. Yeah, I had some difficulties there, for sure. Roland. This is more exciting than playing endlessly the London system with white. So that's what it's got going for it. You don't have to learn tons of Sicilian defense opening theory to reach an interesting, well, when I say interesting, kind of mostly interesting position. So the thing is, queen b3 is knight a5. I've seen this business before. It's not so clear cut. That looks like fun. Yeah, I'll play it because it sort of looks like fun. And there might be queen a4, queen g4 at some point. Queen f3. Queen f3. Actually, I'm not really sure this does anything. Yeah, it just plays that, maybe. I can play knight f6 actually and attack the rook, maybe. If he's not taking my unsound piece sack. Can I try and win some material in a ridiculous manner with queen f6? So takes him on the rook. Okay, so if I take on e5, opposite colour bishops. He's threatening knight f3 check. Anyway, I could play bishop e2 to stop knight f3. Maybe that's best. Keeps the bishop locked in with the pawn on d6. I'm looking forward to f4 here. Also bishop h4 to g3. So I'm wondering if bishop e2 might be the way to go. Keeps the bishop pair. The knight g4, I don't think that's a big deal. So bishop e2 looks plausible. Bishop h4, g3, f4. Bishop's hemmed in still. Rook d1, target d6. Especially with bishop on g3, semi-open file. Okay, alright. Decision point. Doubling the pawns there might be worth it just to get rid of that knight as well. It is opposite colour bishops. Any prospect there? There's a quick c-file invasion. Rook c1 to c7. Might be worth it. What else is there about this position? Unfortunately, no pawn majority. It's equal on pawns. What am I talking about? Not even a pawn up. How do we get this? No, I just want a pawn over there, but of course it's equal on pawns now. Great. Can I do this for rook b1, a3, rook b7? Let's get some piece activity. Otherwise a4 maybe. If a5, bishop b5 might do something. Okay, so rook b1 with the idea of just trying to crash down to 7th rank. With rook b1, a3. If he plays a5, rook b7, try and get 2 rooks on the 7th. Also bishop h5 is to be noted if I need more pressure on f7. So I think my advantage here, if there is any, is that the rook's quite ready for action. Get a5 in to try and get to c7. Maybe there's b5 as well, threatening b6 if we took bishop b5 check. Alright, so idea a5. Take, check, king e7. Maybe it's nothing. It's no big deal. There's rook d1, coordination point d7 though. I suppose rook d8. It's no big deal. This looks. Bishop d8 looks solid enough. Bishop a4, king e7, rook d1. Oh, hang on. No, he hasn't got rook d8 there. Rook d1. Okay, so rook d1, pressure point b7. Rook d1, coordination point d7. King f8, rook d1, bishop e7, rook d8. Sorry, rook d7, rook d8. My back row is not weak. Bishop d1, so I can take this without getting back row mated. Sorry. Okay, what is he doing here? I try and invade on d7. Okay. It's going to wipe out my pawns. This is not working, is it? He's too slow though at the moment. He's playing too slowly. Too much time pressure, I think. Yeah. I'm going to get nothing. I'm going to get exactly nothing here if a5 drops. Oh, great. Get this a6 pawn. Good. Right, I'll try and use pawns over here. There's a pass pawn there. So he's just giving me a pass pawn, which is a bit token. I'm going to lose that pass pawn, but he's only got. I'm afraid he's only got 2 seconds. I don't think he's going to make it somehow, in practical terms. Yeah, but well played. No, kept the equality all the way through. I thought I had something. No, if knight d5 was accepted, I thought I was going to get something. No, okay, well played. Okay, Anakin. So Anakin in. Now his little bishop g4 treat. I'm going to play knight g1. If he wants to surprise me with bishop g4, okay, nope. So we have this little theoretical debate here. Shirov system plays an early g4 on the king's side. As long as I don't lose control of my dark squares too much, I wouldn't mind this position. There's that H file to play with. G5 looks a bit vulnerable. C5 is thematic on the queen side. Before I get to C5, let's torture G5 first. G4, I take the bishop. How does he protect G5? It's nice to have a battery. It's a great example of coordination, a simple battery like this. Rook G7, C5, G4, F4. Why is he giving me a bishop? Is it a trap? Okay, King F2, Knight G4. What if I just play King F1? There's no Queen H3, Knight G4, there's Queen G5. King moves, Rook takes H5. I can't see too much of a problem with King F1. King F3 looks as I'm asking for trouble. Shelter, this pawn is shelter on the F file. Knight G4, Rook takes H5, or Queen G5 first, King H8, Rook takes H5, Queen G5 here, King F7, that bishop's trapped. Why don't I play Bishop G5, there's Knight G4. Yeah, I think Queen G5, King F7 with plan of doubling the rooks. So in other words, I'll give him Knight G4, it seems. I don't want the bishop trapped. Knight F2 here, maybe. I take Rook H7, there's Queen H7, I can't contest the H file. King takes here looks fine. Right, the bishop doesn't seem that bad. I get ready for H4 just in case the plan's H4 here. I'm trying to use that pawn. So I'm ready for G takes. Okay. It's Rook H4 even. Because if he took, I'm winning the queen. If his queen goes back, I can double the rooks and just try and kill all the counterplay with Knight D1 to E3. Does this really work? He can take here, take and Queen H3. That's no? Yeah. No, I don't want to give him too much counterplay. Okay. Alright, so this is an awkward looking position actually. Maybe to start off with Bishop E3 because that is kind of a vulnerable piece out there. As long as there's no H4. I don't know how to at the moment make any progress. Maybe I can just carry on the queen side with b4 c5. This might break this diagonal open at some point. Help encourage that diagonal to be broken open. It looks pretty solid at the moment. E5. Did he play h4? Oh, hang on. What am I doing? Maybe my king shouldn't be there. Maybe I needed king. No, hang on, he hasn't got h4. I just take him on his queen, I think. Okay, so c5. Right, okay, can I close? Okay. Rook g3 coming. Knight f4, okay. So I take and then open up this diagonal, or not, okay, h3 dropping. Oh no, I'm messing up. Oh, crap. I didn't want this level of counterplay. Okay, that's messing up a bit. Queen h1. I'm trying to get this h3 by force, which helps g2. Queen g5, king e2. Rook g2, I take. all right. Let's take it here, surely. Pass pawn. Thanks, okay. On this occasion, you didn't completely murder me. Okay, so yeah, okay, a bit lucky there because I didn't see some of the moves, and yeah, you got to try and make sure at general level counterplay is minimized, especially if material up. It's scary. So e6 and get try and get an improved Benoni here. Or not, that's symmetrical. Okay. Banker Gambit style. Even if he takes, I think I'm just going to play a6 anyway. The question is it d5 weak enough on knight b4? a3 does nothing. Knight c7 on the other hand could be handy. Maybe queen a8 plan somehow. d5 is really something I'm looking at, but the b file is also, just to put some pressure on the b file might be good. Okay, this looks comfortable at the moment. Rook b8, rook b1. Right, he's always got knight e4 on this one. What about g5, knight e4, queen g6? Maybe that's crazy looking. Well, no, that's not good. What about just queen f4 here? It's g3 if he wants. Okay, I get it. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. I'll try this. Hi on stream. Sorry. Okay. So what's going on? What's going on here? I'm under pressure here. I'm under pressure. Under pressure. Maybe I get the queens off. This is a crazy idea, just to try and break d5 down. So bishop takes, knight d5. It's always got rook d1 after. On knight c3. Maybe this isn't so silly. I just take to break the center down. Okay, there's a lot of pawns going to be chopped off soon. To end up being it's equal on pawns. How wonderful. Is it a passed pawn or is it a weakness? It does seem like a weakness at this point. Counter-attack. I can play diabolical trap with knight g4. Knight e4, knight g4. Although it's a self-pin, I can get out the self-pin with rook h1 at some point as well. And the check and knight e4 wins material. King's carnivorous here. Alright. Okay. Maybe it's tough to win that. Probably did repeat. Yeah, okay, it must have repeated. Alright, well played, well played. Yeah, I don't know how I try and win that, actually. Rook g4? Rook g4 maybe knight goes... maybe it's difficult. Alright, well played. Excellent. Yeah, Yeah, I thought it was like some sort of Zugzwang or something. It wasn't happening. I just realised something. Is this actual theory? Because there's check. I'm taking. Knight takes. Okay, I'm just going to go with Queen d4. So bishop b5, bishop e3, castle queenside, that sort of thing. Bishop b5, castle, and let's see. This looks like nothing much. Unfortunately, there's a dreaded symmetrical pawn structure here. Oh, not anymore. This is interesting now. The bishop pair. Is bishop takes and rook takes b7 on the cards? That's the immediate threat, I think. Bishop takes rook b7. Yeah. Okay, I can get knight to d6. Knight f5 to d6, maybe. Except we can just take that knight. Keep things simple. I'm starting to crack now. Crack up. Okay. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Don't like the look at it. It doesn't seem like an easy plan, this position. I can try and keep the knight on d4 simply. It looks nice on d4. If there's no c5, I can keep the knight on d4. Or not. I'm going to put bishop on d4. I don't know how long that lasts there. Not long at all. c5, and he's got a5. Have I just lost the key pawn? I've just lost the key pawn, basically. Oh, I knew this was going downhill. Okay. Oh boy. Get pulled back or not? Can I? Okay. Nothing much going on here. Okay, let me do that. I don't know. Maybe rook b8 was an idea. What's happening here then? Check. Is that vulnerable? Bishop b4. Or bishop f8. Maybe bishop f8 to keep some tension in the position. Oh no! I've just played bishop b4. Great, great, great. All right, fantastic. All right, this has got something going for it anyway. It's stopping the c pawn. I got my h pawn to push. Rook b1, king g2. Okay, this h pawn, how dangerous is that? Alright, not very. I get a king over here as well, just in case. I need to be able to get over there. It should be looking okay, actually. All of a sudden, two connected pass pawns because he wants a mating threat. Might be worth it for that mating threat. Right, so if I just take it. Maybe this was really dumb. I can get my king activated though. Oh, I don't know what's going on now. I'm not sure he's... My pawn's more aggressive. I've got an extra pawn. Yeah, I was losing that game. Planless opening position. Position at the opening was, I don't know what I was doing there. Okay, so okay, that was a bit jammy, I gotta say. Okay, that was drifting off there. Okay, let's try and play an open Sicilian here. Fix b6 for bishop e3 to b6. which looks kind of positional. I'm trying to get binds on both d5 and the b pawn as well. I'll be threatening bishop b6 the way he's played that. I'll play it anyway. It's a nice bind. I think sort of position Michael Asmers would like. Get e5. That's another target, d6. This is a dream position. I don't usually get positions like this. It looks like a dream position, although I should probably avoid f5. I'm losing a pawn there. This looks like, yeah, he hasn't created counterplay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. D pawn is fixed. B pawn is fixed. I'll kick this back and then go back with rook d1. I did miss bishop g4. Okay, it's just a temporary inconvenience. I'm playing h3 and rook d1. There's a big bind on the position. Really? okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's a good way of generating counterplay, I'm sure. Except there must be a way to refute it. Come on, there must be a way to refute it. H3 bishop h5 tactically seems to work, unfortunately, at the moment. Why does that work? I just don't understand how that position cannot be broken after h3 bishop h5. E takes, G takes, I don't know, F takes, knight takes, maybe it's sound, maybe. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, I can't break it. Okay, apparently, h3 bishop h5. What about just opening up the bishop? Don't need to break anything. I just need to open up this bishop, I think. Alright, let's just open up the bishop. Now, knight takes does run into h3 probably for g4. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, this diagonal of death has been opened up when the opponent uses the f pawn. The diagonal of death. Knight d5. Maybe get onto that diagonal. Knight d5. Bishop d5. F takes. D takes. Bishop f7, rook e7. Maybe just open up my rooks and see what happens. So I've opened up the bishop, the rooks. I've still got nothing concrete. That's the concern. Nothing concrete. Okay, I'm going to drop this back. I can't underestimate Black's position. There's knight c4 as well. This might not be funny after knight c4. anymore, because that takes that bishop out, weakens my dark squares. Yeah, it has got a bit of a fracture, structural fracture. Yeah, no, he gets the dark square bishop. No, I can't claim to have done anything here with the position. Could I play bishop d4 to at least try and weaken his king? I'm going to get this guy off. Alright, let's think. Oh, crikey. Queen c3. Yes. Wait, I can take up b7 to a6 here. This is something concrete. I haven't had anything concrete for a while. a6. There's a rook f8 idea of knight e6 and rook f8, if that was interesting. b4, b5 for a moment. If I get bishop d5, king h8, a tactical idea of rook f8 mating here. This wins a piece, I think. If he takes there, I'm on the rook. If he takes there, I'm on the rook. There's knight e7 there, rook f8. I'll take on g7 here. Let's play rook a1 in this position. a7. Yeah, I thought you wriggled out there already. Okay, well played. I mean, I don't know. You try and kill all the counterplay, and that's what happens. You know, it's just breakout. You know, but I didn't have anything concrete. The thing is with trying to remove, you know, sometimes there's just nothing concrete, and they're just still on the board. They're still on the board. They're still on the board. Yeah. So you know what I mean. You know, you've got to balance doing something concrete at some point rather than just trying to just make sure they've got no counterplay. Yeah. So c5, knight c6. Right, so bishop b7. Rook c8 for knight b4. Knight b4 here just to pick up the light square bishop might be good. I don't know if a3 should have been inserted because this looks too good to pick up the light square bishop here. If I pick up this light square bishop, white's got his pawns on dark squares, which means the adjacent light squares are already weak. So picking up the light square bishop emphasises that, gives me better grips on the e4 and c4. Potentially the bishop's quite useful in this diagonal as well. Maybe even a5 for bishop a6. And queen c3 does knight e4, kind of checkmating the queen. c4 on the other hand. Oh, I've got this isolated pawn issue to pick up on. Oh, it's not really isolated, is it? No, that's opening up the bishop if I did cd. What about rook c8 instead? Stop knight c6. Is c4 a target? Knight h5 threatens bishop e5 as well. There's almost knight d5 here, almost. Oh, he's got knight c6, I'll just take that. I'll set a diabolical trap to them to play knight c6. It's naughty. It's a naughty move. It's basically saying, play knight c6. I'm going to just take it. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel bad. Sorry, you shouldn't set traps. Sorry, I've set a bad example here. You shouldn't set traps. If they're not really damaging to your position, I suppose occasionally, as a little treat, to set a trap, yeah. But you shouldn't really get a trap addiction. It's not great. You don't want to damage your positionally, you know. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, the pawns in the centre look quite menacing, actually. Can I play? I don't know, b5. Just try and yeah, pass pawn. It's weird how a lot of times, you know, I set traps. I think that's naughty. You shouldn't do that, and it's quite often people fall into them. I don't know why. That's usually the case. Maybe it's because it's often I play bullet chess, and that's usually the case because no one's looking at anything in bullet. That might be the reason. Okay, so all right, c4 here, and e6 maybe. Chip away at the centre. E6. I'm sort of mated on the dark squares. My dark squares are a bit weak. Can I play e6 here? I can imagine a situation with queen h6 and knight g5. It's a long way off at the moment. I get blockade on d6. This is the immediate blockade with queen d6. There's rook b8 to b3, trying to drag this pawn down. Right, so knight e4 is quite menacing. Can I play f5? I'm going to get stuffed after knight e6. Takes. Rook d7, almost winning. Oh, queen f6. I don't know, there's some danger points here. Okay, how trying to avoid most of the danger points. That's an interesting exercise. Yeah. Well, the back rosary means rook e8 is possible because knight e4, queen f4, knight f6, and just snap it off. It's another diabolical trap. I'm sure my opponent would be really happy with this game if he falls into that one. Okay. Okay, trap number 2 coming up, called back row trap. But it is a legitimate way of, I don't know, fighting here, I think, because it's central control. It doesn't look like a terribly anti-positional move in itself. It just implies that knight e4, queen f4, knight f6, there's queen f6. I'm sorry if he falls in. Look, I apologize now. It was positional. Look, if anyone's going to have a go at it, it's positional, right? It's positional. Rook e8 was positional. Okay, he hasn't fallen into it. Thankfully, that's good. Right, now I'm in big trouble on f6 here. Maybe knight h5, because knight f6, knight takes, I'm protecting e8. Alright, this is pushing my position to the limits. g3, there's queen e5, maybe. Alright, I just need to do a move here which doesn't totally lose before I run out of time as well. Okay, so knight here protects f6. Doesn't get mated. Doesn't lose a rook, it seems. I've got weaknesses on dark squares. I'm aware this position has tactically got issues. It's got dark square issues. Yeah. We can't all be like Caruana. Oh, I was 2 pawns up. It was easily winning. It wasn't easily winning. I saw the game, against Kobian. Yeah, Kobian had some stuff going for him. Okay, so Queen e5. I think I'm going to do an exchange sacrifice because I'm getting fed up with things here. Actually, I'm going to do this. I've got my pawn. I don't want to be handling these tactical issues all the time. So yeah, I was prepared. I don't mind this position. Because I don't have to deal with the dark square issues there. Okay, thanks. Okay, club drawers. This is a fast-paced 3-minute game, isn't it? Now my d4 looks very vulnerable indeed. Very vulnerable. I wonder if my opening's gone wrong here. Yeah. That doesn't look convincing though. Bishop d7 to me. He had pressure on d4 and he's kind of released it. Let's check. I think it's a killer check at the moment. Let's get my king over here, away from that. Okay, f6 looks like it's going to be fun with d6. There's fun to be had on the f6 square. If you play the Albion counter gamut, this is a common thing, trying to undermine f3 in the Albion counter gamut. So he has to watch out for d6 under the right circumstance. So for example, rook d1, d6, and f6 is weak. So around about here, d6 for f6, undermining f6. Okay. Taking looks okay, even if you win the bishop, I'll take the rook. It's good my knight is holding d1, otherwise this doesn't work. Now, why can't I just take his queen here? Is that his clever point or something? Okay. Looks material up though. Bishop e6, knight e4. Well, there's just queen f7, queen f6 mate. Thanks. Right. And what's the problem with that? Doesn't seem like there's a problem. That's unfortunate. So I've just lost the pawn here. Just lost the pawn here. Okay. Try and generate some counterplay. F5, F4 or something. Oh. Forfeited casting rights. Play F5. Let's see what he does. King E2, F5. Right there. I think F5. Okay, I don't want knight e4. I don't want a knight on e4 particularly. I'd rather kick that first before trying to play f takes. Of course, he could take like this and then, yeah. Oh. Am I just getting a worse position then? It seems I'm just getting a worse position here. With his knight on f4, his king's pretty safe actually. Oh well. So knight f4, this is becoming a pain. King h8. I'm playing for c4 here. Try and cause some structural issue. So rook d8 and c4. And queen g5, maybe queen f7. I'll stop this business or not. Maybe not. I need time for this c4. Okay, that's pretty solid, isn't it? f4, bishop f5. At least it activates my bishop. So I want to play on these light squares, maybe queen a7 to a4. Well, actually there's b takes for getting the queen here. The bishop activated is dangerous for the king, so exposed. So taking queen a7. Okay, let me do something about this. g6 for a moment. So I want to play cd and queen a3 wins the queen. My bets. cd and queen a3 was winning the queen. Alright, I mean maybe this is precarious anyway, this position generally. But yes, okay, he's addressed that concern. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, I've got b1 control. Hold on. It's not that easy to stop rook b3. It's not as easy as rook b1. Okay, I'll just take that anyway. Alright, I think... oh, the game continues. Okay, thanks. I don't know, my time system is broken. Oh right, no there is. Sorry, I started it late anyway, so I've given you guys more than my allocated time of hour and a half. Hope you enjoyed it today, so it's been more than allocated time. Thanks, and have a good Easter, and see you next week. I hope you had a good time. Okay, yeah, alright, okay, see you next week then. Cheers then, thanks very much.